salam, and peace, and with good intention. I want to call this Na.ma.stari. Na.ma.stari. What's Na.ma.stari? Na.ma.stari is, in a sense, knowing or self-knowing. When you self-know, then you become your self-master. You know, Na as in Ana, self, or Na as in Gnostic, knowing. Gnosticism, knowing. Anastic. Mastery. Mastery is just knowing your mystery. When you know your story, then you have a better understanding, so you could easily become a master. Master is knowing your story, having true understanding. Now, the reason I say this, I'll make a big deal why I gotta call it Na.ma.stari, is because there's a difference between Na.ma.stari or Na.ma.stari, mystery, which a lot of people get as mystery. I'm gonna call it mystery. So mystery versus history. My story versus his story. His story. You know. Now, history is usually won by the people who conquered. Whoever's conquered, the winner always get to tell the story of how we want to put it. So, if the bad guy is winning, most likely you're going to know his story before you know your story. Unless you keep it reminded, you teach yourself about your story. You know, and this is how you honor your parents and your mother and your father and your God. You keep knowing your mystery. You keep remembering your story. Your past. Because your past is your present. You know, your now will be your future. You know. But anyway, history. Whoever conquered makes up his history. You know? And most of the time, what we know is what whoever conquered us told us this is how it is. You know? So that's why it's called history. Now, and most likely, it's like to the Roman. I don't want to say, in a sense, white people. I don't want to say like that, because that's like, in a sense, incorrect. But we've been conquered by the caste system. You know, from the Hindus and in Egyptian, and now they're taken by the Romans. So we're under the Roman Empire or the Roman theory. So we follow the Roman history. You know, anything that is before the Roman will be considered prehistory. You understand what I'm saying? So it's history when he got in. When he's not involved, since he doesn't know too much about what happened before he got there, it's called prehistory. It's not called more history. You know? Like when this is like Islamic history versus pre-Islamic history. You know? The colonial history versus the pre-colonial history. So whatever they don't know, they just call it pre. I'm saying? Like they don't know too much about the dinosaurs, so they call it more prehistory. You know? Anything that they don't really know too much or they can't affiliate is become prehistory. So the only thing they could really account for, or they could just really say, is considered history. You know? And everything you learn when you go through school, no matter what you learn their history. You know, when you go to the schools over here, you learn about Christopher Columbus and anything that's under the Catholic religion. you know, and from the Christianity aspect of things. So you know that history. Anything before that, like the Indian story, you don't know that. And it's considered prehistory. Because they can't really tell you about it. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody comes through and they be like, let me tell you really about my mystery or my story. You know what I'm saying? Now the reason people think that when people say your own story, people like, that's a mystery, because everything got to be destroyed. And since you can't really prove your story, in a sense, the way the what people want you to think that story is supposed to come through, they think it's a mystery or they think it's something not real because they feel like they can't prove it, you know. And since a lot of the books, see, like when Alexandria got burned, that the Library of Alexandria got burned. So since people don't, the people that came after Alexander's library doesn't really know prehistory. Yeah, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, if you just come to the American library, you just know about American story or American his version, his story, his story. You will never know about American Indian story or my aspect of things will be my story. And my story is really mystery. Because for a lot of people, it'll be like, proven, I can't, where can I go to prove it if they took in everything that is ours and took it away from us? You know? How can I go to certain book things to look for it if the Vatican book, the library, was it called the treasury now, you can't, you know how many security you need to go through just to go to the Vatican library? All these important papers, they will not tell you about it. And since you will not know about it, it's considered a mystery. And the only thing that you know is history, but you don't know the truth. Just because you know history doesn't mean you know the truth. You just know his version of the story, but you don't know my story. You know the story of the oppressor story. You don't know the story of the oppressed. Now, and they have to keep it like that. Because as long as you walk with their story, they got you under control. The best way to make a slave not to rebel is to control their mind. Throw your head and your body will follow. That's the way the saying goes. If you toss your head in the river, the body will follow. So that's what they have under their history. And we believe everything they think. We even assume they're supreme or they're better than us because we just been caught up with their story. I'm saying? Now, story in Spanish is called cuento or cuenta. It's a cuenta. It's what you account for. It was something could be accounted for. I'm saying? La historia or el cuento. I'm saying? Whatever cuento they tell you, could be from Puerto to co or cultura. Cultura, all they go together. And for the people that are a stranger to that culture, they find it like that's an occult. They find that they call it occult as something hidden. But it's hidden because you don't know the meaning of it. I'm saying? But since everybody want to be nosy and they think that they're supposed to allow to know what other people's way of thinking, I'm saying they call it an occult. I'm saying oculto. Something oculto is hidden. Occult, like hidden. So from the outside coming in, and you don't understand, it look like an occult. But it's because people keeping their culture. And the only way you can understand their culture or code, you know what I'm saying? Because they make code like it's a bad thing. Like if you keep your code, it's a bad thing. No, it's keeping your culture. You need to be cultivated. Everybody needs to be cultivated. And if you get cultivated, you get raised the way you're supposed to. I mean, you take a plant and you cultivate it. You raise it up the way you're supposed to. You give the proper nutrients. You need to cultivate something. I'm saying? And when you cultivate something, the best way you cultivate something, especially if you know the right account or the right cuento. But you can't cultivate proper flowers or things to make fruitful. Things to make fruitful if you're not given the proper ingredients. And most of us, we've been raised without the proper ingredients.
All right, what do you want it to be named?
So this is the thing, and I'm about to. Like she asked, I'm about to call it Na.ma.stari. Na.ma.stari. When you know your story, you could become your own master. When you understand the story of how your body works and also aspect of story. You know? When you get out of the realm of time, then you will find the truth. I'm saying? But you got to get away from time. The time aspect. See, the word time is for you to get, you've been tamed. You know? And tamed is like the word Tammuz. Tammuzi. What they don't like about Tammuzi, they know, is the idea that Tammuz died. Nobody liked the word, the aspect that everybody has a time limit. So get the idea of Zeus killing Kronos. I'm saying, because in reality, everybody have a chronological time. You know, but they've been teaching us to be scared of death and just worry about time. So that's why we lost in time. We're lost in time, we're lost in history. We don't know our true history because we don't know what time it is. Nobody knows what time it is. No one knows what time it is. Because in the sense of true omniscient present of the Most High, there ain't no such thing as time. The only thing we believe in time, because we under the illusion of the sun. Take away the sun, where do your time go? I hope I know I say a lot, and at the same time I didn't say a lot. But it's just simple. I'm saying, man had got this idea of trying to control time, trying to control the chronological things of things. And that's what's going on with us. That's why we don't know our mystery. Because our time aspect of things got destroyed. We don't believe in another person's history, now know our mystery. Or my story. Salam alaikum. With no bad intentions, I hope just more clarity. You know, I'm just trying to show more namaste. You know what's funny? In Hindu, when you greet people, they say namaste. Namaste. As in, approach with understanding. Peace. When you're in peace, it's because you got understanding. Na.ma.stari. Salam alaikum. Peace.